So my name is Changge. I'm a senior lecturer working in Lincoln International Business School. I'm a program leader for undergraduate marketing management. I'm also the college digital lead. So Thalia, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Thank you, Chang. It's lovely to be here today. Thank you for inviting me. My name is Thalia Ashley, and I'm Programme Leader for Business and Management and Digital Skills at UCNL in Scunthorpe.
Great, thank you, Thalia. Now we have two of our students joining us from both undergraduate program as well as a master's program. So Diana, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. My name is Diana Rodriguez, and I'm studying marketing management in the University of Lincoln. I'm a first year, and I'm from Venezuela, and I'm very excited to be here.
That's great. Thank you. Lucy, how about you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Lucy. I'm a Master's Digital Marketing student, and I'm also PR and Comms Coordinator for British Garden Centres.
Fantastic. So Lucy's role is a part-time student studying in our digital marketing master's degree, but at the same time, she's holding a full-time job. So I think hopefully from our panel, with four of us, we will be able to open up this discussion from our perspectives, not only from the students' perspectives, but also from academics perspective, to find out what exactly content creation skills are and how are they linked to the 21st century skills, in particular the foundation skills we're talking about. So in today's presentation, we have actually a series of activities we would like the audience to participate. I will provide you with the verbal prompts, and you also should be able to see the QR codes on the screen. So when you see a QR code, please feel free to use your mobile phone to scan the QR code. All you need to do is just to point the camera towards the QR code, and then once the QR image is shown on the camera, click on it, you will be able to go on to the website that we are directing you to. Okay, so the very first activity we would like the audience to take part in is we're going to look at the content creation skills. Maybe we all come from, because of our subject areas and also our working context, the students we teach, the programs that we lead, and the modules we work on, our definitions about the content creations could be slightly different. So in the marketing sense, content creation is usually related to the social media content creation, as probably everyone is aware of. But in terms of your own subject areas, how do you actually see the definition of content creation? What actually the content creation skills involve, and how actually we can support our students in terms of the content that we would like them to create, and we can see the connections between their content creation towards their employability. So please feel free to use the camera to point out the QR code on the screen. It is an online form, which I'm just going to quickly show you. It looks like this. So as you are giving us the answer, we will have the response straight away. I think the content is, the form is ready for you to use. Right, okay. So let's have a look at this slide. Now, the World Economic Forum has looked into the 21st century skills a while ago, and within the 21st century skills, they have identified the foundational literacies, the competencies, and the character qualities. So these set of skills are the skills that obviously they believe that the current generation will have to be prepared to be able to acquire, to be able to develop, and to meet the 21st century challenges. So how do we actually implement these set of skills in our students' learning, in the way how we design, deliver our teaching content, and then how do we actually assess these set of skills? This hopefully will open up everyone's thoughts as well as opinions and your views towards our discussion. McKinsey and Company, they have done a survey involving 15 countries, including 18,000 participants. And they have identified 4 skills categories and the 13 skills group. So when we're talking about the future foundational skills for the 21st centuries, they have expanded from the original World Forum, the 21st century skills that they have connected. So what I wanted to share with you here is this Padlet. So this Padlet is something that you will be able to access in a minute. Okay. So from the McKinsey's findings, we can see there are 56 different foundational skills. They are categorized into 4 different groups: cognitive, interpersonal, self-leadership, and digital. Now, the question here we can ask ourselves is how we actually implement these different skill set into our teaching and learning and assessment, and how actually our students are preparing themselves in order to be able to demonstrate these 4 categories of skills in a very competent way. This Padlet board will be able to, for all of you to access during this session. So let me just go back to the slides. There will be the QR code for you to take part in the presentation. And this is the QR code that would allow you to access that Padlet wall. So today's session, we are going to have 3 different parts. The first part is our discussion. So from 4 of us, along with my colleague Thalia, with our students Diana and Lucy, you'll be able to hear some insider stories. We also would like to invite you to explore and create something as you go along. So the platform we're using is Padlet. So we're going to look at the processes in terms of how do we support the content creation, skills development, and what exactly we can get out of this, not only from the students' perspective, but also from the academics' perspective. We also would like to offer some session takeaways by the end of the session, so everyone can walk away not only with the evidence of our discussion, but also with some further thoughts that you are going to take actions towards the project you may have in mind to put in place in your curriculum area development. So again, this QR code can be scannable using your mobile phone, and you will need a password to access the content. So the password is content itself. Okay.
Chang, just a couple of people are trying the password and it's not allowing us in.
Oh, okay. So, well, in that case, can I actually resolve this issue later on?
You can indeed.
I do apologize. I don't know what has happened. I did set it up, but it's okay. What I wanted to show you is just to give everyone a visual sort of idea what it looks like. Okay, so this will be the Padlet once you have the access. You will be able to see the whole presentation, the slides that we're going to put it here. And then if you have any questions for the presenters, although this Padlet at the moment is not allowing you to access, you still can use our chat room to put your questions for us. And I'm sure Michael will give me and our guests a shout. If you have any good practice, please feel free to use this Padlet, and let's populate this with good practice that you would like to share from your own curriculum area on this Padlet. And we are happy to share this Padlet later on through DigiEd to reach to all the audience within our university and beyond. Okay, so I'm going back to the slides. Right, okay. Now, I think it is quite important that when we set up, a presentation like this and try to work together, we should have some clear objectives. So it is not just the title of this presentation that we want everyone to actively think, your answers, as well as, take part in the discussion. But also we want to see what possibilities are out there that we can add value beyond what can be done by the automated systems, by the intelligent machines that we're all living with now. So from the learning environment to actually getting the knowledge transfer, and to have the students have that kind of competency demonstration. So all of this would be the value beyond what we are currently living in now. We also know that we're operating in a digital environment, so the learning, teaching, assessment, considering the dynamics of it, would be quite different comparing to the traditional way we deliver and we take part in. And certainly this presentation is just an open up discussion that we're looking forward to continuously adapt to new ways of working and new towards the new environment, to allow us as academics to adapt ourselves to the new occupations, as well as, you know, for the students to be able to adapt to the new challenges that are given to them in the 21st century. Okay, so we have actually a pre-recorded video that has been created by Diana and Lucy. So these are the questions that they have looked into: what content to create, what content may help to connect their education towards a career, and what are their experiences so far as students, and how actually they would like to share their practice and what they have learned. So from their presentation, you also can see the platforms and tools they have used and how is the reflective evaluation was like for them. So I'm going to play this video that Diana and Lucy have created. So everyone should be able to see this screen right now, and I've checked the sound and the quality, so it should be okay.
The world is changing rapidly nowadays due to the sudden increase of the social media usage during the COVID-19 pandemic. TikTok gained 1.36 billion downloads during this period. These media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube became the new interactive way of connecting with people from all around the world. In the fast-growing market, competitivity is at its peak, since content creation became more accessible for people with free websites like Canva, making it more important for future graduates and businesses to have a good understanding of the world inside these platforms.
In my experience in last semester, the only module that allowed me to explore more in detail different ways of content creation, with the opportunity of creating a portfolio that can be used in the future as professional marketeers, was Principles of Marketing, where I was able to create 2 infographics and 1 video using Canva. Here I applied business tools as well as exploring the marketing mix and the customer-oriented marketing strategies applied to a chosen brand and company. In my case was McDonald's. This project allowed me to explore more in detail and what the new digital marketing era is all about, as well as discovering new ways of using my creativity to produce content that is different, is interesting, and it's clear.
Content creation has become extremely important for me in the last year, as in my role as PR and communications coordinator for a large company, I create content and run many social media accounts, including Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. During my time in my Master's Digital Marketing course, I have understood the importance of social media algorithms and knowing what is in trend for businesses to succeed on social media. That is currently video content, and in 2019, Google changed their algorithm to favor video content and allow it to rank first in the search engine. I've been able to use my knowledge of social media, both personally and professionally, to allow company profiles to succeed, as well as create strong digital media strategies that match our times. Content creation is something that comes quite naturally to the younger generation and is an essential skill in any area of marketing.
Having these skills developed can make future graduates more employable, since every company is looking for ways to stand out from the competitive market, which became more aggressive in the past few years. To make yourself stand out, it is important to understand how the audience can be persuaded nowadays, with content that is interactive, different, and gives a clear message of what the purpose of it is. In the digital world we are living in, consumers became the main source of content creation, where they consume and produce digital content, making irrelevant the traditional business-to-consumer values.
Great. So that's the end of their video. Well done, Diana and Lucy. This is a really good video that you have created for us. Okay, so I'm going to pause here for a second. I'm just wondering, from the audience, do we have any questions for our students in terms of their understanding about the content creation, as well as their experience so far on their current study in their programs and the modules, and are related to their future career or current career? Have we got any questions from the group?
I'll kick off. Oh no, I won't. Lynn has kindly raised her hand, much more polite than I. So Lynn, please do unmute and ask your question.
Yes, what I'm interested to know is, I think you mentioned in the video that students are very familiar with content creation. How easy have you found it to refine the skills you might have acquired in your social existence with your professional and educational tasks? And what do you think is the role of higher education institutions in ensuring students get the opportunity to develop these skills? Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Can I just ask, this question is for the students first, and then you would like me and Thalia to address as well, right?
I'm happy for all, you know, all inputs on that. So, yes.
Thank you, Lynn. Right, Diana and Lucy, would you like to give some answers from your perspectives?
Yes, of course. So I think for me anyway, I mean, I'm very familiar with social media platforms from my personal life. I know how to use all of them. I know the different demographics on each and how you tailor content from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter, and how it's a different audience and how you write differently for each platform. And I think I've been able to take that into my professional career. But at the same time, I've also used the campaign planning, understanding, and the social media strategy skills that I've been taught at university to create and develop social media posts and campaigns that are successful on those platforms as well. And I think that's where the role of higher education comes in, to kind of develop that underpinning foundation that really allows you to understand how to be successful on those platforms.
Thank you. Yeah. Diana, have you got some views that you would like to share with Lynn and the other audience?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for your question. So in my perspective, before coming to England, I used to work as a content creator and back in Venezuela. So I was already, I already knew how to use digital platforms. But for my surprise, when I came here, the university, as well as the module Principles of Marketing, they show me more into detail how to use these platforms for like a knowledge for and to explore that. So yeah, that's it basically.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Lucy. So I think really valuable input coming from our students, from their observation, from their experience. And I think coming from the academics perspective, actually, Lynn, your question leads towards what Thalia and I will be giving to the audience from our perspective, our experience in terms of redesigning our module, redesigning our assessment methods, and making sure the formative and the summative assessments and peer review, peer support, all of these pedagogical approaches are integrated into our subject area. And at the same time, making sure the technology adoption is meaningful, so that the students are able to relate what they are learning from the university, what they're sharing from the knowledge, construction of the knowledge, and to be able to connect straight away to the industry experience. And then their talents, as well as the way how they create content, can be recognized by the industry, and can be obviously acknowledged by the wider community. So definitely the challenge on the redesigning process, we're more than happy to share our stories, and also the actual delivery, especially on a big module like Principles of Marketing, that we have in term A, a large group, 300 plus students, and in term B, we have 200 plus students. Altogether, we have 5 colleagues within the delivery team, and in our partner college, we have also 3 other colleagues joining our team. So it is a wide, reaching out module that students benefit from having this digital portfolio embedded in their learning, and to be able to take away from their module the traditional way of learning to actually the application in their career development. So Thalia, would you like to share your view towards with our audience as well on that note?
Yes, Chang, thank you very much for that. I think from our perspective at UCLL and UCD, we have a lot of students from widening participation backgrounds, non-traditional students, and certainly listening to Diana and Lucy, they appear to have a lot of existing digital skill when they started this, and they've certainly illustrated it through their presentations, their assessment, their portfolio. But a majority of my students, we had nearly 50 students doing this portfolio, and a majority of them I would describe as content users, not creators. So whilst they've got digital skill, a lot of basic digital skill, they had to be upskilled to get the intermediate type digital skill that's required to use these commercial platforms and develop this digital portfolio. But we did have some really good results, and the nice thing about this digital portfolio, and from a pedagogic perspective, was it developed their confidence with digital skill. There was a variety of outcomes in terms of their levels of competency, but it gave them all an opportunity to play with these digital platforms in a safe environment and use their creativity and innovation. And we did see as well them using obviously the concepts of marketing and the theoretical perspectives, but they were able to be a little bit more innovative and a little bit more creative as well. And it brings a little bit of fun, if I'm allowed to say that, into assessments as well. But we certainly had a variety of different skill levels, and particularly using commercial platforms for which many of them had never ever used them before. And so it's definitely really interesting, and all my students did achieve some really good work, as I know the students at Lincoln did as well. And so this digital portfolio really gives students an opportunity to stretch themselves, which some traditional type of assessment don't quite stretch them in the same way. And it certainly makes them more employable in terms of their digital skill.
Thank you, Thalia.
Thank you, Chang.
Lynn, does that answer your question?
Yes, it's I'm really, I suppose, looking for the best solution when the level of digital skill is low in the student population and not embedded in the curriculum as it seems to be at Lincoln. So Thalia's answer was interesting, and whether there's a need to give the students who have unequal digital skills to start with, does the portfolio give them the chance to get maybe not identical level of skill as those who are better or more advanced, but up to a kind of some level that is really meaningful for their professional careers.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think Thalia has mentioned about, the persona as well as the characteristics of her group of students in comparison to our Lincoln campus. So we do have the 18 plus full-time students in contrast to the students that Thalia has. But in terms of, the digital natives, we can never assume that the students who are, how to say, Generation Z we're talking about, wouldn't necessarily have the relevant skills to be able to demonstrate it just naturally. So within the design and the delivery of this module and converting the traditional assessment methods towards this digital portfolio that can be chosen to be public facing. Obviously, it's down to individual students, whether they want to do that or not. We definitely have considered, in what way we are able to provide the students with scaffolding sort of guidance, and then leading them step by step to be able to bring their academic rigor along with the industry required skills together, and where and how we adopted the technology in the most relevant way and allow the students to present their information critically and to demonstrate that they have the ability to solve complex problems. So even though the module itself is based on the marketing context, we feel that perhaps this idea could be further developed or upscaled or being, used and adopted in some other subject disciplinary areas. And then we are certainly interested to see how, within the wider community, not only in University of Lincoln, but also in the wider higher education sector, how this kind of skills could be implemented and embedded in our education, in our professional development for the students as well as for the staff members. So on this slide, as everyone can see, I have tried to use infographic style of presentation to give you a synopsis of what exactly this digital portfolio would look like. So we have four different parts. The first part is a very easy one. Basically, students use one of this integrated online platform, which is called a Padlet, that all students have access to. They can create a board. It is almost like a wall-like platform, so they can pin any evidence that they have created onto this wall to present and to share the experience and to co-construct the knowledge. The second part is the video content creation. Now, both Diana as well as Lucy have mentioned in their video about the content creation relevant to their study, relevant to this generation, relevant to their work. So content creation using video format actually can be very challenging. So starting from 2 to 3 minutes video content, this kind of creation would give the students not only this kind of challenging, context related to their subject disciplinary area, but also give them some elements of fun to allow them to not only borrowing and developing their ideas, looking and observing from different social media platforms, but also create something interesting that they are able to further develop in the future. So from 2 to 3 minutes video content to the further 5-10 minutes video, it is within their own sort of capacity that they can do anything further if they're interested. Infographics is a good way of getting the information succinctly communicated with whatever audience that you have. So 2 infographics looking at 2 subject specific questions within this portfolio would give them this kind of idea how to condense the content and how to present it. And then finally, the peer review would give them that kind of idea of working in the community, providing peer support, being mindful, and using the content that the peer gives to them to support their self-reflective learning. So altogether, the competencies, as everyone can see highlighted in bullet points, we want students not only to be able to demonstrate the core academic content, the subject area, but also being able to think critically, work collaboratively, apply technology relevantly, communicate effectively, and to develop that kind of academic mindset ready for them to move on.